Halito Ankana so Chipoya Brian Oaster, Alepet High Country News. Something pretty strange happened in Washington, D.C. this week. The House Natural Resources Committee hosted a hearing to discuss co-managing federal lands with the very people those lands were stolen from. Native co-management of federal lands could help relieve the federal government's burden of managing all those lands they stole, and it would support native stewardship and continuity of ancestral traditions. Plus, it would help that crafty old U.S. of A. to step into its trust obligations for once. Is the United States growing a conscience? Not so fast, say Republicans, who called the meeting an embarrassment and hijacked it into a sparring match about gas prices and Russian oil dependence. Then Democrats swooped in to fire back about green energy, totally ignoring tribal interests. Who said Democrats can't be anti-indigenous too? But eventually Congress did hear from Native leaders like Parks Director Chuck Sams, who described what collaborative land management relationships between the U.S. and tribes could accomplish. California has over 1 million rooftop solar panels, but almost 90% of those are on single-family homes occupied by people rich enough to own homes. What about everybody else? Residents of El Dorado Park, California organized a community solar project. They wanted to build solar panels on a couple of vacant lots to help power nearby apartment buildings for low-income residents. But they told Sarah Sax their applications to PG&E's community solar program were rejected twice, and they never found out why. California's community solar programs favor large-scale developers, not actual community organizers, so very few people can build community solar projects. Why is it so hard for people to get solar panels? Poor folks want clean, safe, renewable energy too. Speaking of energy development, that's one of the big destroyers of sage grouse habitat and therefore sage grouse itself. One solution legislators in Wyoming have been toying with is to simply hatch little sage grouse chicks on farms instead. Then we'll have sage grouse again. Problem solved, right? Who cares about the rest of the ecosystem? Wait, that's not a real conservation strategy, say some wildlife scientists. Captive breeding might work for some species, but for sage grouse, it just makes no sense. Want to know more? Read Kylie Mohr reporting on the lone sage grouse farm and the people trying to keep it going. There's plenty of other good stuff too this week at hcn.org. I'm Brian Oaster, and now you know the West. GP's a la Chiki.